Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Just a heads up, if I start sneezing, I apologize. The smoke has done its job in my sinus system, and I have been a mess for the last 2 days. I bought a mask, but I didn't wear it. Yep, that was foolishness on my part, wasn't it? Anyway, so that's that. If I start sneezing, I just want you to know I apologize ahead of time. Been trying to keep ahead of it, but it sneaks up on me once in a while. So there is that. Today is July 19th, 2026, and we are looking at Proverbs chapter 19, and we're going to look at verse 3 today. Proverbs 19, verse 3, and it says this: "A man's own foolishness leads him astray, yet his heart rages against Yahweh." You know, if you live in the recovery community, as my wife and I do, or if you spent time in the church, you probably heard what we call the Lord's Prayer. And if you weren't watching, I did air quotes around that because it's technically the sample or the example of prayer for you and I. It's not the prayer that God prayed for us. But that being said, Jesus said in that, "Lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil." And so often we get confused on that because we think what we're saying is, God, don't lead us into something wrong. Don't let us make choices that are bad. And it literally is saying, lead me not when I am living in temptation. Solomon said, "A man's own foolishness leads him astray, yet he rages against the Lord." When we are living in temptation, it's not God that did anything there. And if you've said that prayer exactly the way it says, you've actually told God, I don't want you present when I'm doing my own thing. Now, I have had many conversations with men who struggle with masturbation and pornography and any kind of sexual sin, and they will tell me on a regular basis, they tell God to turn his eyes, and then they go off and do their own thing. So you can't tell me that we don't actually do that, can you? A man's own foolishness leads him astray. We make choices and then we tell God, don't look. And then when things go wrong, we yell at God for not protecting us and keeping us from that evil thing that we chose to do. Maybe today, and I've been on this kick for a while about evaluation and consideration, and it's because God's talking to me. But if he's talking to me, he wants all of us to know it too. I am a very firm believer that he's telling the same message to everyone who's listening right now. Evaluate yourself. Consider yourself. Always consider where you're at in your relationship with me. A man's own foolishness leads him astray, yet his heart rages against the Lord. We need to evaluate the choices we make. Stop blaming others and blaming God for things we decided to say, do, or not say. Yep, those are choices that we made. And it's our own foolishness, one way or another. Just something to dwell on today as you head off to church. It is Sunday, and you should be heading off to church at some point today. Just something for you to consider. I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.